Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news dated November 18th, 2019. Taxpayers can take steps now to get ready to file their taxes in 2020. But first, when doing tax preparation for a business entity, we note that the tax books will be different than the bookkeeping books, and we need some format in order to reconcile between those two. At our website at accountinginstruction.info, we do have a course labeled or titled Tax and Adjusting Entry Year-End Accounting Excel Worksheet, which helps us to fill out an Excel worksheet to do that reconciliation process in a very efficient way. Any course you purchase at accountinginstruction.info does help us create all the content and support all the content we create. Therefore, please visit our website, consider purchasing a course at accountinginstruction.info. This course title, Tax and Adjusting Entry Year-End Accounting Excel Worksheet. There are steps people can take now to make sure their tax filing experience goes smoothly next year. There's a link to the tax filing experience here. There will be a link to this location in the description. First, they can visit the Get Ready page. There's a link to the Get Ready page on IRS.gov. That's the IRS website at IRS.gov or IRS.gov to find out more. Here are a few other things people can do now. Check your withholdings and make any adjustments soon. Since most employees typically only have a few pay dates left this year, checking their withholdings soon is especially important. It's even more important for those who receive a smaller refund than expected after filing their 2018 taxes this year, owed an unexpected tax bill last year, experienced personal or financial changes that might change their tax liability. So obviously we're getting down to the end of the year. Typically the payments that we are going to be made are going to be made out of, if we're a W-2 employee, our paycheck. They're taken out of our paycheck in the form of withholdings. Therefore, there's only a couple more paychecks until the end of the year that you have to increase the withholdings if necessary. If there's any changes in the tax circumstances, or if you were close to basically needing to pay last year, you may want to do a tax checkup to see if you want to increase those withholdings while you can at the end of the year here. Back to the text. Some people may owe an unexpected tax bill when they file their 2019 tax return next year. To avoid this kind of surprise, taxpayers should use the Tax Withholding Estimator. There's a link to the Tax Withholding Estimator here to perform a quick paycheck or pension income checkup. Doing so helps them decide if they need to adjust their withholdings or make estimates or additional tax payments now. So in other words, the IRS has a tool called the Tax Withholding Estimator, basically a tool that will help you to make a projection of what you think your taxes will be. It's a pretty nice tool to have. You can put your information into it. It'll give you some suggestions as to whether or not you need to increase the withholdings and how to do so. Gather documents, back to the text. Everyone should come up with a record-keeping system. Whether it's electronic or paper, they should use a system to keep all important information in one place. Having all needed documents on hand before they prepare their return helps them file a complete and accurate tax return. This includes their 2018 tax return, so you want the prior year tax return, Form W-2 from employers, that's the primary income report if you're a W-2 or employee type of employee. Forms 1099 from banks and other payers. So if you have 1099 income, we want to have those forms as well. Forms 1095A from the marketplace for those claiming the premium tax credit. Confirm mailing and email addresses. To make sure these forms make it to the taxpayer on time, people should confirm now that each employer, bank, and other payer has the employer's current mailing address or email address. Typically, forms start arriving by mail or are available online in January. In other words, if you've moved or anything, if anything has happened this year, you want to make sure that your former employees, even if it's a former employee, if you worked there this time or in this year or have any kind of income sources, you want to make sure to get back to them and tell them what your current address is so that they can give you your tax information. Note that they will be given it. The IRS address hasn't changed. So they're going to be giving you the W-2 or a 1099 or any other form that's going to be necessary. They typically also will give that to the IRS. So the fact that if we don't get the form, we might not record it on the taxes, but the IRS will have it because, of course, they're going to send it to the IRS. So you want to make sure you have all the documentation. Make sure that any location where you have documentation knows where you currently are to send them. So typically you'll start to get those in, of course, January after the end of the year. Back to the text. People should keep copies of tax returns and all supporting documents for at least 3 years. Also, taxpayers using a software product for the first time may need the adjusted gross income amount from their 2018 return to validate their electronically filed 2019 return. There's a link to validate electronically file. File electronically and choose direct deposit for a faster refund. Errors delay refunds. The easiest way to avoid them is to file electronically. So the IRS does want to they're trying to push everybody to have this electronic filing. That should be in a more efficient way to go. There is a link to file electronically here. Using tax preparation software is the best and simplest way to file a complete and accurate tax return. The tax prep software guides taxpayers through the process and does all the math. In fact, taxpayers can start looking into their filing options now. Another way to speed things up is to use direct deposit. Combining direct deposit with electronic filing is the fastest way to get a refund. With direct deposit, a refund goes directly into a taxpayer's bank account. They don't need to worry about a lost, stolen, or undeliverable receivable check.